Alright everyone, we're going to do another league match. I got dealt the runner first, so pull out the Andy deck. And NBN. So we'll see how I fare against the NBN. This is a great start. Can't complain about this at all. Maybe a breaker would be nice, but aside from that, this is pretty awesome. I mean, I do have fairy at least, so I'm not going to get blown out by anything. I will need to draw to more breakers, and if he rushes me, I don't have an inside job, but I can keep him short on credits, hopefully. I mean, it would be bad news if he just went like hedge fund, ice, ice, and the next turn went hedge fund again. But he's on a mull hand. There's Beanstalk. That's 3/4 as good as a hedge fund. A lot of people like to save it until after an account siphon or something, which is reasonable. So here I'm going to do this, and this. Usually, pretty much the best start you can have with Andy, I think. I've got lots of money for running centrals. I just need to find breakers, and I will be pretty much all set up. So the first thing I think I want to do is I'm gonna try and make him res this ice. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna play fairy and I'm gonna run. Is he just scoring the breaking news here? That's fine by me. I don't love that play. Breaking news has a lot of potential to do damage. Alright, so Ice Wall Enigma, not what we wanted to see, but he's going to maybe have a hard time defending his remotes particularly well now because he's poor. We'll see like what he's got, but I'm not gonna be tricked into any traps at least. I mean, if he installs AstroScript and then I have to run it, or if it's like a pop-up window and like marked accounts, I don't know. Like it could be. All right, so he's drawing. It looks like he's probably trying to find some credit. So he could have drawn hedge fund there, which is why he would take her credit, I would think. All right, special order. So I'm gonna go get Corroder, and I'm gonna run. Actually, I could just get Yogg. Yeah, I'll get Corroder. I'll close accounts. Good to know. Alright, so I'm going to want to install R&D interface, run R&D, and keep drawing. Hopefully to find, the stuff that I need to break in. But mostly Yogg right now, I think, because Yogg would turn on account siphon. I think it's a pretty close call there of whether to get Corroder or Yogg. But my reason for getting Corroder is that I think Corroder is more likely to help me get into the remote. Another closed accounts. And a rototurret. There's a Crypsis. I mean, not the ideal way to get in, but at least it'll allow me to get around the rototurret after he installs rototurret. I have one Crypsis in this deck, and I mostly consider it like a security precaution. It's not like what you want to be. It's not the way you want to be getting in. But if something gets destroyed, or if you have like a start against a fast deck where they're going to be like, trying to get in or trying to sneak some agendas by you. All right, so he's got. So I'm gonna think that that's the rototurret. He can't afford to res like two really nasty pieces of ice though. So I think I'm gonna run it. Okay. So I don't have like a good way to get in anymore. So I'm actually gonna just infiltrate for credits twice. He doesn't have any secret cards on the discard, so this seems okay. I already know one of the top cards on R&D. I could just infiltrate R&D again. Or I could run R&D again, but I feel like I should be maybe trying to land this account siphon now. Those Enigmas, I mean, it's rough. I really wanted Corroder to be the one to get through there, so now I'm like a little bit regretting not going to get Yogg. But it happens. I mean, like, what's the thing is like now he's in a position where he has to decide whether or not to. I guess the game is like a little bit buggy about like what it calls click 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe there was an update. I know that it used to like. Yeah, it's a shame. Come on, agendas. Oh man. Alright. So he's probably gonna just go like green level Beanstalk soon, and then I can account siphon him. I guess I need to. I guess I maybe should have played Crypsis last turn. I could alternatively just float tags, but he's got 2 closed accounts. Fortunately, my money is actually like really secure and like doesn't make any difference. So maybe I don't care. I'll draw a card first. There's a fem. That's one way to waste a lot of money after a closed accounts, and I don't have like a real sentry breaker yet. So that's actually probably something I want to do sooner rather than later, is just run the account siphon, float tags, and stick a fem. So here I'm going to run, and then I'm going to put a virus counter on Crypsis. He might like just clear virus counters this turn. I don't know what else he's going to do. He could also, like, I mean, there's 2 Astro Scripts out, which is great, because I really, really don't want to see the double Astro script. Like, I don't want to see him chain them. More ice on HQ would be pretty good right here, but at least I have him R&D locked pretty well. Alright, so that's maybe the roto turret. Alright, he's thinking about the R&D lock. Alright, so here what I'm going to do is I'm going to start floating tags. Hopefully there's no... I mean, I don't think he's playing a Scorched Earth. He's got ice walls. He's going to close accounts me next turn, so I actually think I don't want to use Data Sucker tokens. Spend 4, gain 10. He's probably going to clear virus counters, actually, too. So I'm actually going to use some Data Sucker tokens. Oh, I thought my fem disappeared for a second there. Alright, so I'm going to hope for no... maybe I shouldn't just hope for no Scorched Earth. I've seen a lot of cards, but I'm going to actually draw the cards here. If he wants to, like, close accounts me, I'll be just fine. He's drawing a card. Good news, good news. Not something that bothers me at all. I mean, I assume he's going to close accounts me here. Oh, maybe not. Oh, he's going to use Jackson Howard. Interesting. So he's going to let me... I guess he's going to, you know, he's not going to leave me on the hook for that 5 money. Good. And I've also got the special order now to go and get Yogg. Alright, so no luck on the second R&D there. On my last click, I think I'm gonna actually go get Yogg. This I really want to do like everything I can to make like all of his different options mediocre. And right now I know he's playing closed accounts. He's only looking for like one last Astro Script, and he can't actually even score it this turn. So I'm not too worried about that. Like if he wants, he can like Jackson Howard again to like try and fill his hand up and break the R&D lock. But other than that, I mean, I guess he easily could have drawn like Beanstalk Worlds or Green Level Clearance, and that's what he'd be doing. What is that? Probably a Sansan. I would think. It could be Bernice. I think I'm gonna still want to run Archives. It's probably like a free credit, which is maybe useful. Did he draw cards? Yeah, he did. So I'm seeing fresh cards off the top. I know he's got Hedge Fund. What is he discarding? Has he discarded both closed accounts? Wow, he's discarded 2 closed accounts. Maybe I just don't need to worry about it. What can I do here? I can Crypsis. I could Crypsis counter, Account Siphon. I could draw a card and Account Siphon to protect from other things. Like the Account Siphon isn't like particularly good here. It gains me 2 credits and loses him 2 credits, but I don't care about the tags, and it does keep him off Astro Script scoring for another turn. I could alternatively, I guess, Quality Time and then Account Siphon. No, I can't do that. Why don't I just draw a card first? Another Data Sucker, and I guess I'll run R&D again. Alright, so we'll see if he just fast advances an Astro here. That would be the worst case scenario. Chances are he still hasn't seen it, but it would be pretty bad for us. No, he doesn't have it. Alright, so here I'm just going to Account Siphon him for all of his money. There is not, like, Sansan costs 6 to res, so that doesn't really matter. I mean, I guess he could have, like, Psychographics, but that's about the only thing I care about. I can't afford to install Yogg first, so I'm just going to let Crypsis die. No, go Yogg. I mean, chances are he's got an agenda in HQ. Did he draw cards last turn? No, I saw Draco. So he's still got Draco on top of his deck. He's probably trying to get up to 5 to use Hedge Fund. He's still got this Astro Script counter. I think I'm gonna run HQ twice. Maybe I'll do this first. Then I'll run HQ once. Oh wow, that's a great R&D interface. Okay, so yeah, I'll do that. I'll discard Katie Jones and quality time. I don't think I really need the quality time. I've pretty much found everything I need. Opponent is broke. So here I'm gonna run the archive, see if I can't. All right, so nothing there. Now I'll install R&D interface number 2. Is there anything with 2 subs that I care about? I mean, I could just ferry it, so whatever. And I got it. Alright, good game. And the float tag strategy against NBN does it again. I'm going to pull out my NBN deck, and we'll see how he does against that. Alright, so we've got the mirror match switched up now. This hand isn't phenomenal, but I don't like to mulligan hands just because they're not the best in the world. Like, you can really get screwed. These are great early game ices. And having a hedge fund is, not bad. That's not what you want to see, but it happens. So I'm going to do hedge caduceus pop-up window. Maybe this breaking news will do something. I'm going to need to draw some ice, before anything awful happens. Hopefully he doesn't just try to do... I mean, the tag voting against NBN is... most of the NBN decks are playing closed accounts, but that is not sufficient punishment. You really just have to account siphon them. You have to not be reliant on resources. I don't like the hostage for pro contacts plan. It's not particularly efficient in the first place, and then it really, Mr. Lee, pro contacts, and even Katie Jones to some extent, sort of, prevent you from, doing your thing in that regard. This is interesting. So he's first click pro contacts. He could do, special order for Mimic, and then just straight account siphon me right now, and that would actually be a pretty good start. I would have a hard time coming back from that, I think. Alright, so he's just dirty laundering for 3 credits. That's pretty good. Usually you want to be dirty laundering with like a Desperado or a Data Sucker to like get a little more value out of it. And the fact that he doesn't have either of those 2 cards in his opening hand is probably good news. Although if he just drops a Mimic out of his opening hand instead, that's probably worse news. Definitely the best breaker against us. With 3 Draco, 3 Caduceus, and you know, even Data Raven with, I guess, a sucker counter. Alright, so now he's playing Katie Jones. And R&D interface. Uh-oh. Well, at least we were gonna need ice for and he's down to 1 credit. So I'm gonna play a little shell game with him and see if I can't get him to run on some crap. It looks like he's probably just going to try and build up money. It might have been a good try for breaking news here because I could like really stifle his development. But chances are he's going to put money on Katie twice. So I can always try it next turn. And he's just drawing a card. Alright, so he runs into Jackson Howard. It's nothing. Please run the other one. Yes. And I got his Mimic. And his Yogg. Wow. And a special order. That's going to be backbreaking for him. So, anybody tells you that Snare is no good in NBN, tell them they're ridiculous. I could have alternatively drawn some cards there because he can account siphon me. But I really want to gain money so that way I can defend my R&D better. There's a Draco. Not bad, not bad. I'm going to start by Jackson Howard for 2 cards. See if I can't get some like drip economy or something. I guess I'll do it 2 more times because I don't want so many of those agendas. And now I'll just click for a credit because this was awful. I mean, 2 Astro Strips is good. But now I'm shuffling in 3 agendas. To a deck that I like. I mean, I guess it's better than him R&D interfacing through pop-up window and stealing them. But that was like sort of a waste of a turn. I mean, I guess we improved our hand like pretty significantly. Like the Astro Scripts are, you know, pretty good. I'm gonna wanna defend against an account siphon like as soon as possible. Also, I'm gonna wanna like first priority is to put more ice over here. John Masanori. Okay, fine. Alright, Alright, so that John Masanori is a little bit interesting. Do I just want to kill it? Probably not yet. I'm probably going to want to put this here. And maybe this here. I mean, he can always run my archives for a card a turn, but it doesn't do anything. And he's still tagged. Alright, sure gamble. I would assume that he's going to want to remove that tag now. Nope. Doesn't seem to care. Alright, close the counts. Let's see it. Alright, now he's getting a free data sucker token on the archives run, which is better than nothing. But he's only got 3 cards. So, I mean, until he gets like Desperado online, I still sort of don't care about this Masonry. He's only got 1 click left. What should I do? I'll increase it by 2. Now I'll blow up this Mazanori. I think I play a little too fast for Octagon. It's always like... It's always annoyed with the way I do it. Alright, it's a shame I like don't have Enigmas in this deck because killing that Yogg is gigantic. Although killing the Mimic is maybe even more gigantic. Unfortunately, I haven't drawn any Drip Economy. Normally, I don't want to like just trade my credits for their credits, but because... Alright, sweet. So he let the TMI get rezzed. Good news. I really, really, really need Drip Economy here, though. I'm like currently clicking for credits way too much for this deck. I've seen a lot of cards, and he is short gambling and all this shit. And here I am, doing basically nothing. I could like let him try and steal an Astroscript by running through a pop-up window just to like make a little bit of money. But it doesn't seem like a very potent play. He's like removed tags and stuff, so I don't know. Now that he's removed the tag, maybe it's not a bad idea to install on top of Bernice. Just because it looks like he might not be able to get in. If he does get in, it's expensive. Even if he just like face checks the ice, it drains him for a credit and gives him a tag. If he doesn't run it, I score an Astroscript and I start a chain going where it's like pretty good. I'm really glad I got this TMI res too. I killed 1 Corroder, and even if he lands another Corroder, it's expensive to get in. It costs... This is one reason why TMI is awesome, is like... So many things are just like mediocre against R&D lock. Eli and TMI are like 2 of the only very good barriers against it. Bastion does okay, and I'm happier about playing Bastion in most decks than I am about Wall Static. But still, 1 subroutine means that like Data Sucker can like run amok on it and stuff. He is doing pretty well economically, despite the fact that I've been tagging him and all this stuff, and I am not. This is really like a marked accounts theme deck. And not drawing any marked accounts sucks. Alright, so here what I'm going to do is I'm going to install Viper, install AstroScript, click for a credit. Alright, so that was pretty bad. Maybe it looks like a really, really fancy bluff. But maybe it doesn't. But I did get rid of his Yogg, and he's going to get tagged if he wants to do all this. So, I mean, this is like not usually... You don't want to be like forfeiting an Astro, potentially. But, you know, a guy's got to do what a guy's got to do. I don't see any other way to, like, put a dent in his money. I mean, I could, like, try installing a snare there, but I feel like there's a good chance he just gets discouraged and doesn't run. In which case, like, the snare is just a waste of my time. Alright, so I'm gonna res the Viper. Hopefully he just, like, pays everything and loses all of his money and takes another tag. This is, like, maybe a little unorthodox. Maybe I should have just tried the PSF. Oh, wow. I ended the run. That's weird. Why wouldn't you just pay 5? Weird that he wouldn't just pay to... Yeah, I mean, he should definitely have just paid 5 to beat the trace. Or 4. Saves him a lot. Here, I'm definitely putting money on this marked accounts. That's exactly what I wanted to see. Now, basically, I mean, he can run it and kill it. But at the very least, I burned 5 credits for 2 clicks, which is pretty good. And I think I've wasted a lot of his econ. He used all 3 dirty launches and all 3 short gambles. So he's like gonna be stuck relying on like Katie Jones or something for econ. He's also lost probably what's his only Yogg. Maybe he has 1 more corroder, but even if he installs corroder, it's gonna be expensive to get in. At some point, I probably want to put ice on archives just because. Now, we'll see what he does in terms of, like, whether he wants to fight off this trace or if he wants to just burn his fairy. The first one, I'm going to do 1 and 1 here. I think it's maybe more important that I get the money than it is that I stop him. Alright, and he stopped me from gaining the money. But he's down to 1 credit. So, hopefully he misses here. Data Raven, please. Worst case scenario. Alright, well, at least he's poor. And he's e-shutdowning. Okay, not bad, not bad. But he's still poor. That's the important thing. Maybe he should have drawn a card. Now at least my marked accounts is online. It's going to be hard because I've got 4 twos in hand. And he can always, like, inside job or, like, you know, just R&D lock me if he gets out of Corroder and, like, some way to make money. So I'm not doing too well. But he's out of sure gambles. He's out of dirty laundry. I don't know if he plays easy mark or infiltration. But I'm not in awful shape. He's got no breakers. He's got no money. A lot of his better cards are, like, in the bin. I don't know what he's going to plan on like, what his plan is to get into R&D. But he's going to need 2 fairies, or a Femme Fatale, probably, or a Crypsis. And Crypsis takes a while. Like, he's probably going to have to, like, telegraph it a little bit. He could have Ninja, but that's expensive. And it doesn't get him very far. It could deny me credits, but as long as he's not making a lot of money, that's okay. He's got John Masanori. He's got John Masanori and Katie. It's possible he's playing hostages and doesn't have more than one of either of those two. Let's see, what else did I get? I got... So he could have another inside job. He has 1 forge activation order, so he could have more of that. So that could be bad if he, like, forged my TMI. But he's gonna need to, like, get money to do that, or at least deny me money. So I'm gonna wanna win via Sansan here. I might want to try to score one of these or 2. Especially if he, like, plays a resource, I'm gonna give this a legitimate shot. He could just same old thing to get in. Like, same old thing. Alright, click 1 to run R&D. I'll just increase the trace by 1 to keep it up. Because he's on 1 credit, he's got 1 link. So I can save a little bit of that trace credit. I've got 7 agendas left in my deck. So most of my cards are pretty good to draw, I think. The best draws are Sansan, Draco, Pop-Up Window, and marked / pad. Maybe the last Astro Script is also pretty good. I mean, I think I probably want to install 1 more piece of ice on this server. Oh boy, another fairy. Okay. So this is a good piece of ice to install over here. And I think I'm going to put money on marked. Maybe it would have been better to draw there. To keep him off, like, Alright, Plascrete. Just what I wanted to see. Love when people install Plascretes against me. Alright, so it's going to be pretty hard for him to get to that one. You need to, like, account siphon me and then somehow inside job again, I think. Finally, I get the drip economy. I mean, it's not, like, perfect because we're already pretty deep into the game, but it's definitely better than not having it. Hopefully he, like, goes credit Katie Jones, money on Katie Jones. That would be, like, literal best case scenario. Any resource would be phenomenal for me. He undoubtedly has account siphons in his hand now. Katie Jones, money on Katie Jones. No! Okay, well, whatever. Shit happens. I guess the worst thing for me would be Corroder. If he just goes Corroder, run. Desperado's not great either. Another data sucker. Alright. So yeah, now I like almost certainly want to get like the other Viper or another Sentry on R&D. That's not bad. The Jackson Howard is mostly bait. I'm sort of hoping he just doesn't, run anywhere important. Maybe he runs. Alright, making me res, fine. Maybe that Data Raven was a waste. I mean, he's got basically infinite counters now, but I don't think he has, like, it's very rare to see 2 Yogs out of this deck. I'm going to draw 2 first, and then I'm probably just going to put money on marked. And I'll click for a credit. If he plays like Corroder, goes credit, or run, that's kind of bad. I'm looking now for Ice to keep him out of R&D more long term. If he does run R&D, I'm probably shuffling in some cards. I would not be surprised to see like Special Order Corroder run R&D. Hopefully it's like not too much of a mess when that happens. I can shuffle in right here. I'm going to actually res. I might clear next turn, actually. Especially if he plays Corroder. Maybe I just clear even though he doesn't play Corroder. We'll see what I draw. Another closed accounts. Not a bad clear here. I'm going to do it. If he's got like another fairy or a femme here, that's sort of bad. But it does cost him a lot. So like he wouldn't be able to like femme and account siphon, I don't think. Femme on Caduceus, maybe? I don't know. Maybe that virus scan is a waste of time. But yep, there's the account siphon. Alright. Alright, now I have to think about what I'm going to do. I'm going to almost certainly keep the gain money on nothing and then just lose all my money. Alright, so he's paid. So here I'm going to increase it up to all the way to 8, I think. Yeah, this seems right. I'm just going to end the run. Alright, so I guess he's going to try and play Corroder here. Now is like the time that I'm going to be wanting to, you know, stopping him from Alright, so he's drawing. Alright. Perfect. Caduceus. That's what we want. I'll just click for credit. He's pretty far off, I think, getting in. He's like out of he probably, it is very rare that they would have two mimics. So he's almost certainly just playing to a fem. If he decides that he's going to try and run R&D and just get data sucker tokens, I can close accounts. And I have two. So the tag floating is going to... It's going to be a little hard. I mean, if he can get into R&D, like if he just ignores the tags, runs into the archives, and then plays Femme Fatale on the TMI, that's pretty good. That's probably worst case scenario for me. But it's still not like the cheapest thing in the world, and he's got no way of gaining money. And yeah, he's playing hostage, so... Alright, so now I'm going to use my Jackson Howard to shuffle in hedge, snare. I'm going to install here and advance. And I'll click for a credit. So there aren't like a lot of things that will be like very good for him right now. The reason why I'm doing this PSF first is I might be able to just win by scoring Beal for 3 points. It's a rare occurrence, but he doesn't have breakers. So if he spends money at any point or gets tagged, I can close accounts him, and then this server is probably going to be pretty safe. I can install advance, and score all the points I need. It's not usually ideal to be like, it's called Never Advance, not like put down your private security force and advance one time. So it's not exactly what I want to be doing, but he's like a little bit far off. So I think like this is the time to like put pressure on him to get into this remote server. Maybe he'll spend a lot of money doing it. I could get a little bit screwed if he does the whole fem thing, but if he spends all of his money getting into this server, I'm still okay. And because of the drip economy, I'm like, I don't have to worry about like not being able to res things. I really wonder like what is the play here? He could install fem, put the counter on Viper maybe, but I don't think that's enough, especially not if he has a special order for it. You install Fem for 9, counter on Viper 2, that's 0 credits. Then you'd have to go +1 to run on Caduceus. So that's 4. Assuming he lets me get the money, it still costs him 4 more money than he has. And he did show easy mark, but you know, that's whatever. Discarding a special order, interesting. What do I discard here? I guess I probably don't need both of these closed accounts. if he like, I can like install like nonsense into this remote server too, like snare. Um, and I can leave snare there for a while, wait to get like a sand, and then try and win off that. R&D is probably my most vulnerable point, but it looks pretty scary to him. Like, there's an ice that's like pretty hard for him to get into, and then two more that he doesn't know. Like this one's pop-up window, but he doesn't know that. I guess he can probably. I don't know if he can assume that one's a pop-up window, but he can. I think he can suspect that one of them is a pop-up window. But either way, I mean, it's not. Is he just like gonna gain credits for the whole game? Yeah, I mean, the fact that he has so many credits is a little bit problematic. But if he spends them all getting... If I can trade, like, all my credits for all of his credits, that's good. Even if he, like, account siphons me, I think I can just let it go through for the most part. He's a little bit overloaded right now. What is this? A Viper... Oh, yep, he's femming the Viper. This is exactly what I wanted. He's not femming the TMI. Perfect. So my suspicions were correct that he has a fem. Somewhat unfortunate. But at least I nug him. And he spent a lot of money. And he didn't put his... Oh, and he lost an inside job. All very good news. Unfortunately, this server is no longer safe. No agendas. That's perfect. I almost certainly should have put this data raven on HQ on second thought. Alright, well, he's going to need to steal this Beal to stop me. Alright, so it looks like my opponent is conceding. He actually has a shot, I think, to get in. He can pay one. He can just let me get in the credits now because what in the world does it matter? So he would just be paying 1, 2, 3, 4 to get in, and then gaining one back. So he does have like the shot of just stealing the beal out of my hand. Alright, thanks for watching everyone. That was an interesting